Ladies and gentlemen, close your eyes for a moment and imagine that you're standing on a stage, surrounded by thousands of people. The spotlight is blinding, the crowd is watching, and every eye is on you. You feel the pressure to perform, to impress, to prove your worth. Now imagine stepping off that stage and into a quiet room where there is no audience, no judgment, just you, your reflection in the mirror, and one question: who am I when no one is watching? This is the reality of life. Too often we live as if we're always on that stage, chasing applause, seeking approval, and trying to prove ourselves. But what if the most important work we'll ever do happens in that quiet room? What if the secret to true success isn't about proving anything to anyone, but about improving ourselves every single day? Tonight, I invite you to step off the stage of validation and into the transformative journey of self-growth. Let's shift our focus from proving to improving, and together discover the power of becoming better, not for others, but for ourselves. Focusing on improvement begins with understanding that the pursuit of growth is inherently personal. It's not about measuring up to someone else's expectations, but about being better than you were yesterday. History provides countless examples of this mindset. Think of Benjamin Franklin, who developed a system to improve himself through daily habits. He didn't aim to prove he was a moral leader, but sought to improve his virtues, famously dedicating himself to mastering 13 principles like humility and perseverance. His legacy reminds us that personal growth is a quiet but powerful journey. In our daily lives, we often face situations where the temptation to prove ourselves is strong. A professional might feel compelled to showcase their achievements at every opportunity, yet it is the worker who focuses on mastering their craft and learning from their mistakes who truly excels. As author Ryan Holiday writes in Ego is the Enemy, impressing people is utterly different from being truly impressive. Improvement lies in action, not display. When we focus on proving ourselves, failure becomes a source of shame. But when we focus on improving, failure transforms into a teacher. Consider J.K. Rowling, who faced countless rejections before her Harry Potter series became a global phenomenon. Instead of trying to prove her worth to publishers, she improved her manuscript with each rejection. She later said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." This shift in mindset allowed her to create something extraordinary. In relationships, proving can create distance. A person trying to prove their love might shower their partner with extravagant gestures while neglecting the daily acts of kindness and understanding that strengthen bonds. Improvement, on the other hand, focuses on becoming a better listener, a more empathetic partner, or a more dependable friend. This quiet dedication fosters trust and intimacy far more effectively than any grand display. The influence of social media often amplifies our need to prove. We craft highlight reels of our lives, seeking validation through likes and comments. But those who focus on improving use these platforms differently. They share their authentic journeys, inspiring others by showing not just their successes, but their struggles. As Maya Angelou said, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Improvement is about authenticity, not appearance. Leadership provides another lens through which to view this principle. A leader who seeks to prove their authority might demand respect and showcase their power. However, a leader focused on improvement invests in their team, listens to feedback, and grows alongside those they lead. Abraham Lincoln exemplified this approach. He wasn't concerned with proving he was right, but worked tirelessly to unite a divided nation, growing as a leader through humility and resilience. Improvement over proving also shifts our mindset from competition to collaboration. Think about a student who works on improving their skills, sharing notes and resources with classmates. Instead of trying to outshine others, they contribute to mutual growth. This attitude not only enhances their own learning, but also strengthens their community. As Helen Keller said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." The importance of focusing on improvement becomes even clearer when we look at innovation. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, exemplified this principle. Jobs didn't aim to prove his genius to the world. He was obsessed with improving technology to create products that revolutionize how we live. His focus on growth, rather than self-promotion, left an enduring legacy. His life reminds us that meaningful work speaks for itself. Daily habits reflect whether we're focused on proving or improving. A person who exercises to show off their physique might lose motivation once the compliments fade, but someone who works out to improve their health builds a sustainable habit that benefits them for life. Improvement, unlike proving, is not dependent on external validation, it's driven by intrinsic motivation. Improvement teaches us patience. A tree doesn't grow overnight, and neither do we. The great artists, scientists, and leaders of history understood this truth. Michelangelo spent years perfecting the Sistine Chapel, not to prove his talent, but to create something truly magnificent. In our own lives, focusing on improvement allows us to embrace the process, celebrating small wins along the way. As Confucius said, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Imagine a world where your worth isn't determined by applause or recognition, but by the quiet progress you make each day. Picture a life where the drive to impress others is replaced by a commitment to better yourself. Tonight, we are not here to discuss how to prove ourselves to the world. Instead, we're here to embrace a more profound truth: the power of focusing on improving rather than proving. This idea resonates deeply because it challenges us to step out of the endless race for validation. Think about the times you felt pressure to prove yourself, whether at work, in relationships, or even to strangers online. That pressure weighs us down, yet it rarely leads to lasting fulfillment. What if, instead of proving, we turn inward and focused on personal growth? The rewards are not just external success, but inner peace and true self-confidence. Throughout history, this principle has been a driving force for great achievements. Let's begin with a story from ancient Greece. Socrates, one of history's greatest philosophers, famously said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." Socrates didn't seek to prove his intellect. Instead, he dedicated his life to self-improvement and questioning everything to uncover deeper truths. This relentless focus on growth rather than recognition has left a legacy that continues to shape our thinking. In our everyday lives, the same lesson applies. Think of the student who focuses on understanding a subject deeply rather than merely chasing grades. That student might not always get the highest scores, but their knowledge becomes a solid foundation for lifelong learning. Improvement often happens quietly, without fanfare, but it creates lasting impact. Consider the life of Thomas Edison. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to create the light bulb, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison wasn't concerned with proving his genius to the world. His sole focus was on refining and improving his invention. That perseverance led to a breakthrough that transformed humanity. Improvement, not validation, was his guiding principle. In modern times, we see a similar mindset in athletes like Serena Williams. Williams didn't build her career by trying to prove she was better than her opponents. Instead, she focused on honing her skills, perfecting her game, and pushing her limits. Her story is a testament to what happens when we prioritize growth over recognition. The desire to prove ourselves often stems from insecurity. We crave external approval to feel worthy, but true confidence comes from within. When you focus on improving, you free yourself from the shackles of others' opinions. Think about a musician practicing alone, away from the spotlight. They're not playing to impress a crowd, but to master their craft. It's in those quiet moments of dedication that greatness is born. Even in personal relationships, this principle holds. Trying to prove your worth to a partner or friend can lead to resentment and unmet expectations. But focusing on improving, becoming more empathetic, patient, and understanding strengthens bonds in ways that proving never could. Improvement fosters genuine connections, while proving creates shallow ones. Social media is a prime example of how the need to prove can derail us. People curate their lives, sharing only the highlights to project an image of success and happiness. But true fulfillment isn't found in likes or followers, it's in the progress we make when no one is watching. As the saying goes, character is what you do when no one is looking. Let's draw inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." Gandhi didn't strive to prove his worth through grand gestures or declarations. Instead, he worked tirelessly on self-improvement, embodying the principles of nonviolence and humility. His commitment to growth inspired millions to follow his lead. The journey of improvement also teaches us to embrace failure. Michael Jordan, one of basketball's greatest players, said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Jordan's focus wasn't on proving he was perfect, but on learning from every setback to become better. Every day we face a choice: will we spend our energy trying to prove our worth, or will we invest it in improving ourselves? Improvement is a long, steady process, but its rewards are far greater than fleeting validation. When you focus on growth, you build a foundation that sustains you through life's challenges. As we move toward the conclusion, let me leave you with this thought: the race to prove yourself is never ending and exhausting, but the journey to improve yourself is enriching and transformative. When you focus on improving, you don't just achieve success, you redefine it. Ladies and gentlemen, your worth is not in the applause of others, it is in the quiet progress you make every day. Let us commit to this journey of growth, for it is the key to a life of meaning, fulfillment, and true success. Take a moment to reflect on the pioneers of history. Think of Thomas Edison, whose relentless pursuit of innovation gave the world the electric light. He didn't work to prove his worth, he worked to improve his ideas. When he was asked about his thousands of failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His focus on progress over validation led to achievements that changed humanity. In daily life, we see this truth play out. A student who spends hours understanding a concept instead of worrying about grades improves their knowledge. A professional who learns from criticism instead of defending their ego grows in their craft. Improvement is a silent, steady process, often unnoticed but always impactful. The desire to prove often stems from insecurity, a need for approval to validate our existence. But true confidence comes from improvement. Consider Serena Williams, who didn't just strive to prove she was the best in tennis, but focused on improving her skills every day. Her unparalleled dedication to growth made her an icon, not just a champion. Even in our personal relationships, the same principle applies. Relationships built on the need to prove something to others often crumble under the weight of expectations. But when you focus on improving yourself, being kinder, more understanding, and more supportive, you strengthen bonds in ways that no display of perfection could achieve. As we walk this journey of life, the distractions are endless. Social media tempts us to showcase our lives, to prove we are happy, successful, and loved. Yet the most fulfilled people are those who work on improving their inner world, their character, and their skills rather than curating a facade. Let us learn from leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." Gandhi didn't seek to prove his worth through grandiose declarations, but focused on improving himself and his approach to nonviolence. His humility and relentless self-improvement inspired millions. In our pursuit of improvement, failure becomes a teacher, not an enemy. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." His focus on learning from failure rather than proving himself perfect led to excellence. Every day you are presented with choices. Will you spend your energy proving your worth, or will you invest it in improving who you are? Improvement may not bring immediate applause, but it builds a legacy. When you look back at your journey, what will matter most is not what others thought of you, but how much you've grown. Ladies and gentlemen, the race to prove yourself is exhausting and endless, but the journey to improve is enriching and transformative. As we part ways tonight, remember this: your worth is not in the approval of others, it is in the quiet progress you make every day. Focus on improving, not proving, and watch how your life transforms. Improvement is not a single event or a milestone that we reach and then stop. It is a continuous, lifelong journey that evolves with us as we grow and change. This truth can be seen in the life of Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose curiosity and passion for learning knew no bounds. Even as he mastered painting with works like the Mona Lisa, he was simultaneously exploring anatomy, engineering, and botany. Da Vinci didn't rest on his accomplishments or feel the need to prove his genius. Instead, he embraced every opportunity to expand his knowledge, understanding that mastery is never final, it is always unfolding. In our daily lives, this principle reminds us that there is no finish line in personal growth. A student might graduate with honors, but their education doesn't end with a diploma. The most successful people are those who remain curious, seeking to learn long after formal schooling is over. When we view improvement as a lifelong journey, we stop comparing ourselves to others and focus instead on our own unique path. As Confucius wisely said, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. This perspective allows us to celebrate small victories along the way, recognizing that every step forward is meaningful. Whether it's learning a new skill, developing a healthier habit, or becoming more patient, each act of growth adds to the richness of our lives. Improvement isn't about reaching perfection, it's about becoming a better version of ourselves day by day for as long as we live. Intrinsic motivation is the force that drives us to pursue goals and improve ourselves, not for external rewards, but for the satisfaction and fulfillment that comes from within. It is the quiet, steady energy that fuels genuine growth, unshaken by the need for validation or applause. Consider the story of Eliud Kipchoge, the marathon world record holder. Kipchoge often speaks about how his greatest competition is himself. He doesn't run to prove his superiority over others, but to test his limits and better his own performance. This inner drive has propelled him to achieve what no one thought possible, including breaking the 2-hour marathon barrier. In everyday life, intrinsic motivation separates sustainable progress from fleeting success. A person who exercises because they enjoy feeling stronger and healthier is far more likely to stick with it than someone doing it for compliments or to meet societal standards. The intrinsic joy of becoming better, not proving worth, creates habits that endure and transform lives. The power of intrinsic motivation lies in its ability to make challenges feel meaningful rather than burdensome. When your drive to learn a new skill or improve a relationship comes from a genuine desire to grow, setbacks become stepping stones, not failures. As psychologist Edward D.C. once said, when people are intrinsically motivated, they engage in activities that interest them, and in doing so, they develop new skills and capacities. This self-generated energy ensures that the pursuit of growth remains fulfilling, no matter what external circumstances arise. When we shift our focus from proving ourselves to improving, we develop the resilience to embrace setbacks as part of the growth process. Failure, instead of being something to avoid or fear, becomes a powerful teacher that helps us refine our skills and strategies. This shift in mindset is crucial as it transforms challenges into opportunities for self-improvement. Take Thomas Edison, for example, whose journey to invent the light bulb was filled with countless failed attempts. Edison once remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His focus was never on proving to the world that he could succeed on the first try. Instead, he dedicated himself to understanding the process, learning from each failure, and pushing toward the next attempt with an even greater commitment to improvement. In our own lives, setbacks often feel like roadblocks, but they can be stepping stones when we choose to focus on improvement. A student who receives a low grade might feel the sting of disappointment, but that grade is merely a reflection of what they need to learn next. It's not a mark on their worth or potential. By shifting attention away from the need to prove intelligence or ability, and instead focusing on refining strategies and understanding material more deeply, that student transforms a failure into a valuable lesson. In the world of sports, we see this principle in action with figures like Michael Jordan. Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, faced numerous challenges and missed many crucial shots. In fact, he said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." His resilience didn't stem from a desire to prove his superiority. It came from the relentless pursuit of improvement, learning from every mistake, and using each failure as fuel to push harder. Resilience is built on this foundation of self-improvement. When we stop worrying about proving our capabilities to others, we are free to learn from our mistakes and grow stronger with every setback. Whether it's in our personal lives, careers, or hobbies, focusing on improving allows us to develop a resilience that doesn't break under pressure but bends, adapts, and eventually emerges more powerful than before. When we focus on improvement rather than proving ourselves, we cultivate authentic confidence that is rooted in our growth and abilities rather than in the validation or approval of others. This kind of confidence is unwavering because it is built on our own progress and accomplishments, no matter how small. Take the example of a musician who practices daily not for the recognition, but because they love the process of learning and honing their craft. Over time, their skill improves, and that improvement becomes the source of true confidence. It's not about impressing others with flawless performances, but about the personal satisfaction that comes from seeing how far they've come. This confidence is unshakable because it's not dependent on external opinions. Authentic confidence also allows us to face challenges with a sense of security and openness. When we are constantly trying to prove ourselves, we place our self-worth on external factors like approval or success, making us vulnerable to insecurity when those factors are not present. In contrast, when our confidence comes from improving ourselves, we are not easily swayed by failure or criticism. We understand that growth takes time and setbacks are just part of the process. This type of confidence gives us the courage to take risks, try new things, and push beyond our limits, knowing that our self-worth is not dependent on immediate success. Consider the journey of a young entrepreneur who starts a business. Instead of trying to prove they are successful from the outset, they focus on learning the intricacies of their industry, refining their products, and improving their customer service. As they continue to grow and adapt, their confidence isn't based on the revenue or accolades they receive. It comes from the pride of knowing they are building something meaningful brick by brick. Over time, this deep-rooted confidence helps them weather the inevitable challenges like slow sales or critical feedback, because their value isn't tied to those external measures, it's tied to their commitment to improvement. This kind of confidence also extends to relationships. When we stop trying to prove our worth in the eyes of others, we can focus on becoming better partners, friends, and family members. The goal becomes self-growth, learning to listen better, becoming more patient, and communicating more effectively. In turn, these improvements naturally strengthen our relationships. People are drawn to those who exude a quiet confidence born from self-awareness and growth, not from the constant need for validation. Ultimately, focusing on improvement rather than proving ourselves leads to an authentic, enduring confidence that remains constant even in the face of setbacks. It is rooted in our own journey, not the perceptions of others. As we continue to improve, our belief in ourselves becomes unshakable, and we realize that we are enough just as we are, even as we strive to become better. When we shift our focus from proving ourselves to improving, we not only transform our own lives, but we also inspire those around us. The journey of self-improvement is contagious, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves. As we grow and evolve, others begin to see the value in focusing on progress over perfection. This creates a collective environment of growth, where improvement becomes the shared goal, rather than the individual race to outshine one another. Think of Mahatma Gandhi, whose commitment to self-discipline and nonviolence wasn't about proving his strength to the world, but about improving himself in the service of a greater cause. His personal growth and unwavering focus on nonviolent protest inspired millions to adopt similar values. Gandhi's leadership was rooted in his own continuous improvement, and in doing so, he ignited a movement that changed the world. His life shows that when we prioritize improvement over proving, we become beacons of possibility for others. In everyday life, this ripple effect can be seen in communities, workplaces, and even families. A mentor who focuses on improving their own knowledge and skills doesn't just enhance their life, they set an example for others to follow. A teacher who continues to evolve their teaching methods and deepens their understanding of their students' needs motivates others in the school community to do the same. When we focus on becoming better versions of ourselves, we inspire others to do the same, creating a chain of positive influence that grows exponentially. In the workplace, leaders who focus on improving their leadership style by listening more, developing better strategies, or learning new ways to motivate their teams help create a culture of growth and collaboration. Instead of fostering a competitive environment where employees feel they need to prove themselves at every turn, the focus on improvement builds a supportive atmosphere where everyone can thrive. This kind of leadership inspires others to look inward and focus on their own growth, making the entire team stronger. The power of this ripple effect is not limited to large-scale examples like Gandhi or workplaces. It can be seen in the smallest interactions in daily acts of kindness and in how we carry ourselves in our personal lives. When we improve our relationships by becoming more patient, empathetic, or understanding, we unknowingly influence those around us to do the same. We teach the importance of growth, not just in the big moments, but in how we approach every interaction and situation. This ripple effect reminds us that focusing on our own improvement doesn't just change our own lives, it has the potential to create lasting, positive change in the world. When we strive to be better for ourselves, we inspire others to follow suit, ultimately fostering an environment where collective progress becomes the norm. The world becomes a better place when we commit to improving, and as we do, we empower others to do the same. As we close tonight, let me leave you with this: the most meaningful race you will ever run is the one against yourself. The world will always have opinions, judgments, and expectations, but none of that defines your worth. What truly matters is the quiet work you do each day to grow, to learn, and to improve. Imagine a life where you no longer chase applause, but instead chase progress. Picture yourself free from the weight of proving anything to anyone, living with the confidence that comes from knowing you are becoming the best version of yourself. That is the power of focusing on improving, not proving. The journey may be slow, the progress sometimes invisible, but every step forward matters. As you walk this path, remember it's not about the trophies you collect or the praise you receive. It's about the strength you build, the lessons you learn, and the person you become. Focus on improving, and the rest will follow. Thank you.